Hey guys, Mr. V here. The Crysis 3 beta is available on the PC, Xbox Live Marketplace, and PlayStation Network, and I'm going to give you some of my first impressions, as well as impressions from the MP1st staff.
We have a Reaper cannon.
Now, the beta is available until the 12th of February, which is exactly a week before Crysis 3 officially launches, so if you haven't yet, make sure to download it. We highly recommend it. Our full written impressions can be found in the description below, but I'm going to give you guys just a few points, and I'm also interested to hear what you think about the beta so far. So what do we got here? Well, we have two maps, Museum and Airport. Both are quite contrasting in that Museum takes place in a sort of darker, swampy atmosphere, while Airport takes place in a brighter, greener, open area. It's cool because we get a taste of two very different types of maps that Crysis 3 might offer when it officially launches. So far, I'm really liking both maps. They feature a lot of verticality. They're also very appropriately sized, which means that matches are constantly action-packed, you're always running into people, and the flow of movement on these maps are just so smooth and fast-paced, which are also features that I thought were a pretty strong point in Crysis 2's multiplayer. So we also have two different game modes, Crash Site and Hunter. Crash Site is very similar to Headquarters, which is what you would find in Call of Duty. The twist here is that a alien dropship will drop a pod into random areas on the map, and your job is to secure the area for as long as possible, or at least longer than the opposing team. Hunter is a pretty unique survival mode. You've got two permanently cloaked nanosuit wearing soldiers or hunters that are basically tasked with hunting down the remaining cell soldiers who are trying to extract from the battlefield. Their job is basically to survive the entire time using some of their special equipment and weapons. Of course, the hunters only have their tech bow to rely on, and of course their invisibility. To be honest, I thought this mode was pretty cool, but it didn't do too much for me in terms of excitement. I found myself wanting to leave about halfway through the set of rounds. So while I found Crash Site to be a lot more exciting, I could see Hunter being a pretty fun mode playing it with friends, especially over microphones and using, good communication and teamwork. So let's talk about the visuals and the gameplay, which are two very important features in the Crysis series, I think. Obviously, PC is the way to go here. It looks absolutely gorgeous on the PC. That's also the footage you're watching here in the background. I was a tad let down with how it looks on consoles, but not because I was comparing it to the PC version, but because I felt the improvements weren't drastic enough compared to Crysis 2 on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. As it stands, I've definitely seen better on the Xbox, which is what I'm currently playing it on. But having said that, it is a beta, and I'm hoping that that won't be the case come launch time. What I'm super happy about is how the game feels. It just feels so much better than Crysis 2. Aiming and shooting are completely improved. It just feels better, not as clumsy as before. And of course movement, so things like mantling, jumping, sliding, it all feels really good. It's really fast and responsive. You'll probably notice that the gameplay is quite streamlined in that things like sprinting no longer require energy, which can be both a good and bad thing. There's less to think about, it makes the gameplay really fast-paced, but those who really enjoyed the sort of metagame of energy management will find that it's not as prominent here. I find that the very smooth and fast-paced movement, along with the very nicely laid out maps in this beta, lend to some very cool and very badass moments. There are a few bugs and network issues that sort of take you out of the experience, but I'm hoping those will be smoothed over by the time Crysis 3 officially launches. I'm really liking the attention to detail that Crytek has paid in terms of user interface. Navigating the menus is very easy, especially your equipment customization. Text is big and clear and easy to understand and read. And most importantly, things like unlocks aren't confusing. It's always easy to tell what your next nanosuit module unlock is or what your next weapon attachment is and how to get there. So I think if Crytek can really keep this level of polish up and smooth out all the bugs and graphical issues that are apparent in this beta, I'm thinking that Crysis 3 could really take the FPS community by surprise. It's got that Call of Duty gameplay, but with a few Halo elements mixed in as well, and of course its very own unique flavor. It'd be pretty easy to brush off Crysis 3 as just another shooter, but this is a beta, it's free, so I highly recommend you guys try it out, download it. You'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't. At the very least, it's something brand new, it's something quite refreshing. but the gameplay here also has that charm that might just seduce you into sort of making the switch to Crysis 3. So far, the rest of the MP1st staff is also very much enjoying the beta. Contrasting to my thoughts, James Lara, aka Nitro Wolf, really liked Hunter mode. He's not certain about the balancing yet, and he's also finding there to be some inconsistencies in a hit detection. Sometimes it feels like killing the enemy is easy, other times it feels like it takes just way too long. Tom wasn't impressed with the fluctuating frame rate, but he did appreciate the end of game or end of match highlight reel, especially when using weapons like the tech bow, which really added some different and unique gameplay elements to this first person shooter. Now, we'd definitely like to hear what you guys think. Based on the beta so far, do you think you're going to be spending a lot of time in Crysis 3's multiplayer? Is it going to take you away from other games like Call of Duty or Halo or Battlefield? What platform are you going to be playing it on? Are you dead set on the PC, or are you thinking about trying it on either the Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3? If you're like me, you might be worried about the amount of bugs that you might find in the final build, as well as the amount of support that Crytek is going to give Crysis 3's multiplayer. Both were issues that myself and many others had with Crysis 2's multiplayer. So far though, I've seen some major improvements in just the beta alone for Crysis 3, so I for one am really looking forward to Crysis 3 when it releases this February 19th.